Hi everyone, Amy Galper here, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 5 favorite carrier oils that I use whenever I'm formulating a face oil. So whenever I'm formulating a face oil, I'm always thinking of how I can nourish and even out my skin tone and also support skin cell regeneration and just tissue repair, because ultimately I want my skin to have a vibrancy, a natural glow, and I want to reduce the appearance of any fine lines and wrinkles and any of that sense of that crepey kind of inflamed skin. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through these 5 oils and tell you exactly kind of what percentages I use them when I'm formulating with them. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and ring that bell so you'll be notified every single time I come out with a new video about essential oils, aromatherapy, botanical skincare ingredients, botanical skincare formulation, and aromatherapy entrepreneurship. So let's get into talking about my 5 favorite carrier oils for skincare, especially on the face. The first oil that I want to talk about is avocado oil. And avocado oil is cold expeller pressed. And in fact, all these carrier oils are cold expeller pressed from the seeds of these different plants and fruits and nuts and stuff like that. And this is from the avocado nut. And basically you can see here in this coloring here that you have it has kind of a green hue, so it's definitely like picking up a lot from the actual fruit as well. And what I love about avocado oil is that it has some trace vitamins, especially vitamin D, which is really important to help fortify and protect the skin and help strengthen and enhance and support the tissue building aspect of our skin. Really helps with skin cell regeneration. Plus, what's really nice about avocado oil, and I'm going to show you this right now, is I find avocado oil to have quite a fast absorption rate. So I'm dripping a little bit on my arm right now, and you can see here that it absorbs relatively quickly. So I would score this as an absorption of fast to medium. And the oil isn't very thick or tacky. In fact, it has this very velvety and soft finish, which I really like whenever I'm putting something on the face. So just to recap, avocado oil is one of my favorites because it's rich in trace minerals and vitamins. It feels really soft and nourishing to the skin. It's protective. It helps support the rebuilding of the skin tissue, and it just has a really lovely soft finish. So that is avocado oil. The next oil that I really adore and love using in my face oils is pumpkin seed oil. And this is cold expeller pressed out of the seeds of the squash or the pumpkin. And you can see here, because this is a totally unfiltered, unbleached, undeodorized. So you see this kind of thick, almost maroon-like color of this oil, which I really, really love. And pumpkin also, like the avocado, is deeply nourishing to the skin cells and also really reparative to tissue. Also, like avocado, has trace amounts of minerals and vitamins. And like avocado, again, if you wanted to check it out, it has also quite a fast absorption rate, meaning that it doesn't sit for a long time on the skin, but it absorbs relatively quickly. Now you may notice also that there's a trace kind of hue of orange in it, right? It's leaving a little bit of an orange hue there. So there's a slight trace of beta carotene in pumpkin, which is also a really good component to help with skin cell regeneration and repair. The next oil that I want to talk about is Apricot Kernel Oil. Now, Apricot Kernel Oil is cold expeller pressed out of the kernel of the apricot. So when you look at the apricot fruit, right, you open it up and then there's that rough kind of heavy seed. If you crack that open, you're gonna find a nut that looks almost like an almond. And that's what the apricot oil is cold expeller pressed out of. Now, apricot oil, like the avocado and pumpkin, is also deeply nourishing to the skin and has a quick absorption rate, but unlike the other two, is not, it doesn't have this kind of rich pigmentation, but it's quite clear. But you can see right away that it absorbs relatively fast, and like the avocado and pumpkin, leaves a very soft and kind of pillowy feeling on the skin, which is really nice when we're talking about adding oils to our face. The next oil that is my all-time favorite whenever I'm formulating facial oils is pomegranate seed oil. Now, pomegranate seed oil is particularly unique because it is very rich in this one essential acid called punicic acid, and that has a really strong affinity to our own ability to regenerate our skin cells and also knit back together and help support the rebuilding of the proteins that are responsible for collagen and elasticin, right? Those are the parts of our skin that help us have elasticity and hold our skin shape. The other thing that I really love about pomegranate seed oil is that it has a very kind of gooey and tacky. You can see already just from the way that I'm dripping it. It's a very thick oil, and it has this very kind of gooey kind of consistency. And I'm going to rub it on my skin right now, and I'm trying to show you on the video, but it has almost this kind of, I don't want to say tacky, but gooier feeling when you rub it on your skin. And it actually leaves a little bit of a shine and a sense of dewiness. It definitely contributes to that youthful glow that we're going for when we're looking for a face oil to really rejuvenate and bring life back to the skin. So I love the pomegranate seed for that ability to offer that glowy, dewy feeling. And because it sits a little bit longer on the surface of the skin and takes a little longer to absorb, it's also very protective, and it gives that appearance, right? It gives that sense that it's adding to glow and vibrancy because it is kind of taking longer. So it does have that kind of glowy, rich feeling. And then as far as how it feels, it is a little more tacky, a little more gooey, but it has something very luxurious and soft in it as well. Now, the next oil, carrier oil, that I think is amazing for facial care and formulating with face oils is Rosehip Seed Oil. Now, Rosehip Seed Oil, also you can see here, has a bit of a pink or orange hue, and that's because it also has trace amounts of beta carotene. Rosehip seed has been known, due to its really unique presentation of essential fatty acids, to be really powerful for tissue repair. So we often reach for rosehip to heal scar tissue, wounds, to even out skin tone, to help the skin kind of accelerate its reparative process, to make the skin feel softer, more emollient, to also help support the proteins that create our collagen and elasticin, which are responsible for the elasticity and shape of our skin. And like the pomegranate, it's a little thicker and a little gooier, and it also has a tendency to sit a little bit longer on the surface of the skin, so it does not absorb as quickly as our avocado or our pumpkin or our apricot. And like the pomegranate, it also leaves this kind of dewy, glowy finish that gives a sense of softness and pillowiness to the skin. So now that you know kind of some of the therapeutics of why I'm choosing these carrier oils for my facial oil, I wanted to run down a little bit about what percentages I usually use them at and what their shelf life is, because I think that's really important to understand. So the avocado, the pumpkin, and the apricot oils can be used anywhere between 50% to 90 or 100% in your formulation. They make great kind of base or foundational oils, meaning that you can layer in other oils on top of them. All right. They're also relatively inexpensive, meaning that if you're going to use it at 50 or 100% in your blend, it's not going to cost you a lot of money. It's they're pretty accessible and relatively affordable. So these, I would say, are my foundational or my base or my core oils on which I build the rest of my facial oil formulation on. The pomegranate seed and the rosehip seed, however, I use at much smaller percentages. So I would use them at about a 5%, maybe reach up to a 10%, but I usually hover around the 5% mark with those two oils. Why? Because they're very tacky feeling and they do offer this very glowy, kind of gooey experience and appearance. And sometimes if we're using this face oil for the day, we may not want that feeling of like heaviness or something resting on our face. I think it's better for evening as we're sleeping to allow those oils to slowly penetrate in. So these oils are a little more volatile, meaning they're not as stable as these oils, so the shelf life is not as long. And I would use them at a less of a percentage than these three oils. All right, so let me know what you think about my 5 favorite carrier oils that I use when I'm formulating facial oils. I'd love to know if there's any oils that you're using that you're enjoying and the reasons why you are. So if you like this video and you want to hear more about botanical ingredients, please go ahead, leave a comment. I really want to hear what you think, what your biggest takeaway was from this video about these 5 carrier oils that I use for facial oils. I'd love to know what you're using, or maybe you have questions about other oils. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you in the next video.